podcast, April the 1st, 2020. This week we got an awesome interview with Andy Cosplay, and then we're going to go and talk about some of the news and been happening over the last 2 weeks. So, without further ado, let's start, shall we? Okay, this week's is a very sort of chilled out episode where we have an interview and we have some stuff that needs to be said, and just general stuff really has been going on for the last few weeks. But before we do all that, we just want to give a quick shout out to our supporters over at Badfish Merch and as well as Geek Erie. I'll let them explain what they do now.
Have you ever thought that should be on a t-shirt? Well, now it can. At Badfish Studio, we create one-of-a-kind t-shirts, hoodies and more from just £15. Get a favourite slogan, awesome picture or anything in between and wear it around town. It's less commitment than a tattoo.
We can do full colour images or bold colour vinyl, including metallic, leather and carbon fibre look, glow in the dark, reflective and even rainbow or glitter for all you snazzy unicorns out there.
Because we love you, the podcast community, we want to give you 10% off your order by using the code MAG1. Oh, and if you are content creators, we have free merchandise options that will help you start making money from your labour of love.
So shoot us a message on Facebook at Badfish Merch, Instagram at Badfish Studio, or fill in the form at www.badfishmerch.com. Badfish Studio. Be unique, be Badfish.
Come check out Geek Erie podcast. While an Irish person and two English co-hosts talk about anime and the convention highlights of what's happening around us on an international basis. Sick of hearing about Gamergate? Sick about your favorite anime being called as a Nazi propaganda? Why not check out Geek Erie podcast? We have news, interviews, and convention highlights. So check us out wherever you can find a podcast, whether it's iTunes, Stitcher, or Spotify.
Okay, I just say thank you to the lovely people over at Badfish Merch and Geek Erie for taking the time to make those. As if you guys want to check out any of their stuff, links as always are in the description. You guys can check their stuff out there. If you do buy anything from the Badfish Merch store, you can use the code MAG1 and you get a little bit of a discount on that. It helps us, it helps the show, it helps everybody basically. So, without further ado, let's get on with this interview. I got a lucky opportunity to talk to Andy _cosplay, who is a cosplayer from Liverpool. So, without further ado, I'll start this interview. So I'm here with Andy Cosplay. If you can explain who you are and all that sort of jazz, and say hello.
Hi, my name's Andy. I'm just a cosplayer from Liverpool, and I've been cosplaying for about 3 years now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So not really that long then, really kind of short in the cosplaying.
I would still say I'm pretty new.
Yeah. So I'm going to first ask you is what made you cosplay in the beginning?
I think what made me cosplay was I went to my first convention back when Liverpool still had its MCM conventions, and I just went in, your standard Dragon Ball T-shirt. It's like, oh, it's weeb, it's nerdy enough.
Yeah.
And, obviously I got there and, I really enjoyed the environment and all that. But then seeing all these, really cool cosplays, everyone was, dressed up as, their favourite characters from their favourite franchises, you feel a bit underdressed and unprepared.
I think, if you go to your first sort of a huge sort of Comic Con, you do kind of go like that. Yeah, I'm not prepared for this. I underdress sort of thing.
Yeah, it's like you want to be a part of it too. You want to be a part of this sort of big community as well.
Yeah.
And so after that, I was like, okay, next convention, I'm definitely going to cosplay.
Yeah.
And I think from there, from the first time I cosplayed, I was like, okay, this is for me. Just because the response people get, like the response you get from people coming up to you and asking for a photo, or being able to like sort of join in those big group photos as well, and just meeting other people who share that love for that show or book or whatever franchise. It's always great.
Good. Yeah. I was going to say now, it's like Liverpool MCM. When did that actually start? Do you know? Because like I know it finished in 2018, I think, if I'm correct remembering. So when actually when it started? Because I
think it was 2000. I want to say 2016. I'm not 100% sure. I just remember I was doing my A levels at the time.
Right.
I think. Yeah. So. Or was I doing my? I can't remember exactly, but I do remember it was like early days.
Yeah, and it's a shame now because they've moved on to do obviously the bigger ones, and they've kind of left Liverpool in dust. So it's kind of a shame, but we do have
that's
Liverpool.
true.
We do have Liverpool, Comic Con to kind of balance it out in a sense there. So it's not too bad. And
yeah, like Monopoly events, I think they did a pretty good job, like picking up where because they saw there was an opportunity there, because I think a lot of people were quite disappointed with MCM Liverpool closing, and so I think Monopoly Events has done really well. Like the guest list of the recent con that they just did was amazing. Honestly,
it really was. I was like, wow. I think I took my friend to her first convention for like almost a few years, and she was just saying like it was really good. Even though she's been to like, this was donkeys years ago, she went to like NMCMs, but now she's saying like, oh no, it was really good. So that's like
it was really good. I found that like it wasn't too big as well. Like I felt
no, it wasn't.
Yes.
I think
it was.
Yeah, it was about reasonable. I was expecting it to be bigger, because a bit more packed, because they had like I said, a really good guest lineup. So I was thinking, it's going to be quite packed, but it wasn't as packed as I thought. It was still a bit, you would not bump into people, but you would go like past people quite closely, just thinking, ooh. But then, once you go out to the main area, it's kind of, you could walk around and sit down,
like decent breathing room.
Yeah. So it's kind of good.
Oh yeah, and I also found I feel like with cons that are like a little bit smaller, it just gives you more of a chance to like talk to people. I find.
Yeah.
Because you aren't rushing around as much.
Yeah. Well, instead of rushing around, I was doing it on Saturday. I was rushing around everywhere like a headless chicken. So trying to catch as much.
I'm sure it's just the excitement of it all.
Yeah, the excitement, and I'm doing I was doing interviews from the actual convention. So I was going from one side of the convention to interview somebody to another, and then back again. So I was like, my legs.
Yeah, I can imagine.
So speaking of cosplays, how many have you actually done that you?
If we're gonna count different variations, like because I've got 3 different Spider-Man suits.
Right.
I'm gonna count that. So altogether, that's about 7 cosplays.
Okay.
Which I think it's a decent number.
Yeah, it's like 2 a year sort of thing. You've been doing it for 3 years, so it's about just over 2 a year sort of thing, isn't it?
Yeah, I want to always try and make sure that I get my money's worth out of each cosplay.
Yeah. So you haven't. So you have used like costumes before then, or do you kind of use it once for that weekend and then just that's it until you need to use it again, or do you kind of just use it again at the next one?
I will usually because when a con comes up. I'll usually have a costume ready, I would love to cosplay, Spider-Man on this day and then this character on this day. There's always, I always have a character to go back to.
Yeah.
So what was the original question?
No, just saying how many have you done would be said like about 7, wouldn't it really? So it's not too bad. What's been your most ambitious kind of cosplay? It's the one that's been like, well, that took a lot of hard work.
I would say the most ambitious cosplay. So far, I probably would say it's been my Hero Suit Deku cosplay.
Right.
Just because with that, that's when I first started using EVA foam in my cosplays. And because I've never worked with EVA foam before, it was quite a daunting challenge.
Oh, yeah.
And so, you know, I was like studying up, watching all these YouTube tutorials, like looking out for these tips and tricks, and then asking all my friends, like, oh, what's best for this, and luckily I had a lot of, good people in my, like, social group that would, like, give me a lot of tips and, like, help me out and stuff. And, yeah, because I built, like, his mask and I built, like, his shoe guards from scratch, and I think it did turn out quite well, because, considering I've never really used, spray paint before, or foam, or any of that stuff, I think it all turned out quite well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And it's really like inspired me to like sort of get into it more. So in more cosplayers, I want to try and incorporate more foam builds, I guess. But again, it depends on the character I choose to cosplay.
Yeah. So you said that you cosplay. What's been like the most proudest moment that you've had when you've been cosplaying? Do you have one particularly, or?
Well, I guess it does depend on. Well, I guess it does depend. Because so with Spider-Man, I would say I'm particularly just proud of that cosplay, because cosplay for me is a good motivation to sort of stay fit and healthy. Yeah. And so, when I know that a con is coming up, I'm always like, okay, I have to go to the gym like 4 times a week, have to stay in shape. I got to like keep my body fat to a certain percentage. And, I think, it does help. It does help me motivate myself. Yeah. Because, I want to try and be as accurate as I can. Yeah, you want a sensitive sort of thing. Yeah, and so when I get a really good response of like people, complimenting me, and a ton of people coming up to me and like asking for a photo, and when little kids like get really excited when they see Spider-Man, warms my heart every time. Warms my heart. That's always like one of the best memories. Like I feel like those. I feel like, it's always worth it. You know what I mean? All that hard work and, strenuous times at the gym. Always worth it. Always worth it to make kids smile sort of thing. Yeah. Yeah. And I guess another cosplay I'm proud of, I guess, is my Hero Suit Deku. Just because, it was my first cosplay that I did use foam for. And I really spent, like, weeks just trying to perfect, the different sort of props. And also is because it was the cosplay I used for my first ever cosplay masquerade that I did at this small con called Doki Doki in Manchester. And I need to go to that. Yeah, it's a really good like small con. It's like, I don't know, it's really wholesome, I'd say. It's a good day out. And so that was my first cosplay masquerade I've ever entered. Ooh. And and I actually managed to come first and win. Yay! So I was kind of blown away, because like even my girlfriend, she was quite like, "What, really?" Like, fair enough. So I'd say those two are always like. Okay, I'm gonna be from a positive question to a funny/negative question. Have you had any cosplay disasters? Cosplay disasters. Yeah. You're thinking, yeah. No. Yeah, I'm thinking now. Because most of my cosplay experiences have been positive, Yeah. I haven't had any. I haven't run into any cosplay drama or anything. Oh, no, it's like disasters is like thing, like something's ripped and you've been walking around with like a ripped in the back sort of thing, didn't really? Okay, well, at Japan Expo for my Deku cosplay, first of all, that Deku cosplay, I will say it's not practical in terms of just for the summer heat, because oh my god, it was the hottest like weekend in Europe at like the time of this convention, and I did not play it smart. I did not play it smart at all, and so I was just absolutely boiling in this cosplay. And the thing is, I don't like for some reason I don't really sweat. So I don't know I'm gonna die until it's too late, So I'm walking around and I'm just like I feel my temperature getting hotter and hotter, and it's so hot in this convention that they like you know, that like the stands are giving out free fans to like help the con goers like fan themselves.
Yeah.
And I feel like that probably was, in terms of disaster, I feel like that's probably just up there, because I was just so uncomfortable during like some parts of the day. I still really enjoyed the con, but there were just some parts where I was like, I am dying in this heat right now. I am dying.
Was that last summer or the summer before? Because I think like the last 2018 was like boiling hot. I remember that one.
I think it was 2019. Yeah, 2019.
Okay.
Yeah, that was. It was during like a heat wave in France, and I was.
Oh, you were in.
I was thinking, I regret this cosplay right now. and also like part of my leg armor, sort of like the elastic sort of snapped as well.
Oh no.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, what am I gonna do here? Luckily, the con had a sort of repair center.
Okay.
And so, you know, I was able to like sort of take my armor there, and then they would like fix it for me. Like they fixed it free of charge, and like they made it like even like a lot sturdier. And I was like, oh, you know, it's a win-win then, I guess. Yeah.
Do you think like more conventions should do that, actually, out of curiosity?
Yeah, definitely. I think that's just, for me, that's made it one of like the sort of more fonder memories.
Yeah.
Just because, I was a little bit upset that, the thing's damaged, but then I saw that, they have like a repair center, and I was just like sort of over the moon that
when
they
you're
managed.
running there as fast as you can, going, help me!
Yeah, pretty much, because you know when you work on something like for weeks, and then it kind of like comes apart, and you're like, is my life just over? And so, the fact that they just did it free of charge, and they were more than happy to help, and like, you know, they make it so that it's not just a patch job as well. Like they made sure it wasn't going to snap again. And so I'm really thankful, and I feel like more cons should have that as like a standard, I guess.
Okay. So how do you like decide what you're cosplaying? Is it kind of, do you decide like 3 months in advance, or is it kind of this weekend I'm going to a convention, I'm going to be X, Y, or Z, whatever?
So if I'm really into a show, like My Hero Academia, I'll be watching it, I'll be like, oh, this character's really cool. I want to cosplay this character for like whenever I won't even think about which con's up ahead. I'll just think, I want to cosplay this character, and whenever I get it finished, that's when I'll, bring it to con. Other times, it'll just be, if a con's coming up and I already have a few cosplays under my belt anyway, I'd be like, oh, I haven't worn this cosplay as much as others. I'll throw that on because, I want to get more pictures in this cosplay, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I think seeing a character in a show that I really enjoy and I like the look of, and if I think I can pull that off and represent the character well, then I think that really does help me choose that character.
Okay.
But it also depends on, I'll also ask my friends, what are they going to be cosplaying as?
Right.
And if they want to do a group cosplay, I'm more than happy to like sort of, join in and participate, just because, I feel like when you go in a group cosplay, it just makes it like the con experience just that little bit sweeter. Just being in like a union, it's always like a really good feeling.
Have you ever has there been like where you've gone into a group and it's kind of like you've clashed, or is it kind of you all have your favourite characters? Have you ever had that moment? Just like two people want to be Deku, or is it kind of Deku? I've always seen that and thinking, that'd be great, and it's like, do you do like, is it a case of, do you have discussions, right, okay, I'm gonna be this character and your friend's gonna be so and so character, or is it just like, let's see what happens?
For Birmingham MCM, that was supposed to happen in March. We had like a cosplay group, sort of planned out, and we had like a tick list of like who's going to be which character. And so luckily I managed to, get Lemillion, for that group. And like, I know that another guy was like, I wanted to be Lemillion, but I managed to get him first. But, we came to an agreement that, it's fine, because I think he decided he was going to be Tamaki anyway. And so, we were like, I wouldn't say there was a massive, like, a massive clash, but it was just like, shame, but it's okay.
Yeah.
And I think when I cosplay Spider-Man, because I have a big friend group that that we all do Spider-Man cosplays or spider-related cosplays. I think we always try not to clash. We always like, we should all be like a different one, because then it looks just cooler in group photos, that kind of thing.
Okay.
So I think we don't really like say, oh, do this one because we're going to clash, but it's like a sort of underlying like, ooh, so and so's being this one. Yeah. It's like, oh, we'll all try and be different,
Yeah. Okay. I've got lots of train of thought now. Yeah. Have you ever seen any of the cosplayers that you just totally gone like, wow, that was amazing?
All the time. Every con I go to, I'm always like, that is my favourite cosplay of the day right there. But I guess it depends, because you get those really cool cosplays that you can tell there's a lot of time and effort that's gone into them, and money as well.
Yeah.
And you kind of just blown away by the amount of dedication that's gone into it.
Yeah.
And then you get those cosplays that are obviously a bit more simple, but there's like it's clever in like, oh, that's just funny, so
there's thought behind the cosplay. Really, it just went, yeah, that was a good cosplay, and then I get the joke as well.
Yeah, exactly. Like, at Japan Expo, there was a guy who came as the pirate portrait from SpongeBob SquarePants intro, and he's walking around the con singing, and it was a good time.
I want to see. Does anyone actually? Do they walk around and be like, "Ooh," and then everyone just starts singing?
Pretty much, yeah. Pretty much. And like those cosplays, they're simple, but they're ones like you remember.
Yeah, it's like unanimous that everyone knows when that guy comes on. It's like, okay, you're gonna have to start singing a SpongeBob theme tune now.
pretty much. And then you get those cosplays that are like always so, they have so much like detail that goes into them. Like what I said before was when it comes to like Overwatch cosplays.
Yeah.
I always see that there's so much effort and detail that go into them, because I think that's just the character design. But I'm like, oof. I think kudos to those people. And again, with people who build like the big like foam mecha cosplays.
Yeah.
I'm always blown away by them. Like I have a friend, Cravendale Beast. He managed to do his Gurren Lagann mecha cosplay.
That's the second time, and it still blows me away. It's like, that's absolutely amazing.
It's still ingrained in my mind, because I remember like his story, and like he just started like a sort of paper build. I'm like, ooh, this is going to be interesting. Can't wait to see the final product. And it's amazing to see how it starts off being like a sort of sketch.
Yeah.
And like paper to like a full-on, painted, worn like mecha suit, and it blows me away every time. Like the big grand ones, and obviously, I think the ones that people, how people just sort of sometimes suit the character.
Yeah.
Like they're aware of like they're using like themselves best to their ability, and like, oh, you know what, I look like this character, and then they pull it off. And then it kind of just sort of
looks like that character.
It looks like them, and I feel like, yeah, obviously, good for you guys that you look for them, that like you look like that character.
Yeah,
and yeah, it's just, I think it's just really cool. I'm still blown away by that as well.
Has there ever been a cosplay that you wanted to try? Like
all the time.
An alternate universe.
All the time. I think there's always going to be that dream of, I want to do a big sort of armor build cosplay, whether it be like a Gundam mecha suit or like a Pokemon armor cosplay.
Yeah.
Or even like even someone like Master Chief as well.
Yeah. Those are. Yeah, like, those are tricky to do, because it's like there's so much stuff going on there.
Like I can tell that they take a lot of time, money, and effort. And if I did have all of that to my disposal, then I'd be like, yeah, I'll do that right now. But just I pace myself. Yeah, I pace myself.
That's fair.
I'm building my way up to it.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I was going to say, are you planning any new cosplay this year? But this year's pretty much done and dusted, hasn't it? Really, to be honest. It's pretty much like, yeah, it's over. But are you planning anything? Can you say anything else? Say.
Yeah. I'd say I see this quarantine. I was like, ooh, it's time for me to
buckle down.
Do some cosplays, I guess. Keep myself from going insane. And because I did make my little sister a Tokoyami cosplay, I was thinking, I might do one for myself as well. Because I'm like, I've already built it once. I've already got all the pieces ready.
You've done it once for your little sister. You can scale up now to be your sort of
size, pretty much. And I'm thinking, I'll maybe add the sort of dark shadow effect to it as well. So, just things like that. And then it'll be more stuff like maybe I might also do Bakugo as well, just because I know that'll take a lot of time and it'll keep me busy. But that's a lot of foam. That's a lot of foam.
Yeah.
And I'll have to check my stash if
you've got enough.
Pretty much. And I think I'll also just be sort of trying to improve cosplays that I already have.
Right.
I would want to improve my Deku cosplay. I'd want to remake the gloves completely again. And then redo my leg armor, and just sort of update it, just to sort of keep it fresh, but just so I get more use out of it, I guess.
Okay, I see that.
Yeah, and I really like Deku as well, so I'm like,
yeah, you got to make improvements every sort of thing.
Exactly, and there's always improvements that I always see in my cosplays. I could improve it, in this way, after you go to a con in a cosplay, and then you're wearing it, you're walking around, and you're like, ooh, I could improve it on this.
Yeah, I think if the people who've come listen to this all the time know that I tried Elf from Death Note, and I was just constantly just picking at my head at the wig all the time, just going oh, it's not right. I was just keep picking at it all the time. I was happy. The con was good, but I was just annoyed at myself as I couldn't get the wig right. So. Oh well.
Yeah, I get you. And so, you just want to make sure you get those little details fixed.
Yeah.
And you want to keep getting it until it's essentially perfect.
Perfect for you anyway, obviously.
Yeah, exactly. People will always, be really happy to see your cosplay, and they'll compliment you. But then inside, sometimes you're just but I didn't do this right. I didn't do this right.
That bit right. Yeah. Speaking of cons now, are you planning any that's coming out this year, or is it kind of just that's it? I can't do any because of the quarantine and everything else.
Well, I've still got my ticket for MCM Birmingham, so I hope that still goes ahead. I think it got moved to June.
Yeah, I think it's clashing with Hyper Japan actually. I think if I remember rightly.
Well, so
I remember seeing something saying they were clashing with, I think it was Hyper Japan or something, another convention. So
I think that might be MCM London.
I think right.
Yeah. I would like to go to MCM Birmingham and maybe London if I have enough money.
Yeah.
And then obviously I would like to go to MCM Manchester as well, just because I feel that holds a special place to my heart, because that's where I met quite a few of my friends that I've met through cosplay, and I would like to go to that one. But it all depends on how this thing goes, how this whole quarantine goes.
I was just saying that before. It was I've got a convention in June that I'm really hoping I can go to, but I've not bought anything for it yet until we know for certainty what's the situation at hand. So that's the way I look at it. So
would you not buy the stuff anyway, and then you have it ready for whatever convention you have coming up next?
It's not the things; it's the actual tickets and stuff, really, and traveling.
Okay.
I'm thinking I'm holding until the very last possible moment to get let's say if it's in June, so if they say in May, or let's say May they're postponing it or cancelling it, I didn't buy anything, didn't waste the money. I think waste, but I didn't spend it. I didn't need to, sort of thing.
Yeah, it's a tough time because I feel at this point you can't really plan anything concrete anyway. And
No,
it's such a shame.
It really is. I feel sorry for the ones who are like organising it, because they're just like, yeah, we could do it on this day, and then this happened, and I was like, crap, we have to rearrange like everything again now, and trying to get the celebrity date.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, like I can imagine it just being like a nightmare for them, and just a nightmare for like a lot of con goers, because I know that a few of my friends had like hotels booked and trains booked for Birmingham, and then they have to like sort of cancel and rebook again. And
I think I was so close to getting literally this month I was going to go to Liverpool for a convention in June, and I was so close. If they announced it a few days later, I would have bought the hotel and the tickets and the travel then. But can they announce it now? It's like, oh, okay, cool, Dave. Then I don't have to go. I can just postpone it and move stuff around and be ready for it. So luckily, I was very good with that one. But yeah, I can see how it is. Like you've put money into it, and then it's like, oh shit, it's become. Sorry. Oh crap, it's become like useless now. So I understand that.
Yeah, it's hard.
Speaking of companies in kind of a weird way, if a company asked you to cosplay a character, what company would you like if they came up to you and said, we want you to do this?
Okay, so I think I would love it if if Blizzard came up to me and asked me to cosplay Genji. I'd be like, I'd be more than happy to. But, you got to give me time, because for one, I don't know how I would even do that, first of all. But I think, I'm like, Genji's he's always been he's always been an idea to cosplay, But if like a company came up to me and, needed a cosplayer now, straight away, I would love it if Marvel came up to me and asked me to cosplay Spider-Man, and because I'm like, yeah, exactly. I'm like, take your pick. Which suit do you want? Because I think I'm quite happy with my Spider-Man cosplays. I'm like, quite happy.
Well, that's good. I mean, I think Blizzard came up a lot. Actually, I've been surprised since I've done these. Blizzard have come up quite a fair bit. So yeah,
I can imagine. Yeah, because in the cosplay community, I would say Blizzard and cosplayers, they just seem to go hand in hand,
I think My Hero as well, there's a lot of My Hero cosplays walking around. I noticed over the last few months, the last few years and a half, it's been there's a lot of My Hero cosplays. It's
if I don't know, Manga UK or Toei Animation, or Toho, or I can't remember which exact company.
Yeah. They asked you to do that.
Asked me to do a My Hero cosplay, I'd be more than happy to.
Yeah.
I'd be more than happy to do Lemillion or Deku or Tokuyami or Bakugo. I'd love to do any of those characters for them. But, I don't know how often that happens, but...
Hey, you can never know, it might happen. That's right.
Yeah, exactly, you never know.
If anyone who's listening wants to start cosplaying, what would be your key advice?
Ooh. I think the most important thing is to really just have fun with it. Don't try not to stress out about, the quality of it all. I think that's something that comes with time. You sort of just you gradually start to pick up a few things and ooh, I could do it this way or I could do it this way. And I think, I think some people, including myself at times, you would get a bit stressed out, about trying to complete a costume for a con. And I think sometimes that does sort of suck out the enjoyment out of it a little bit.
Right.
But I think a lot of people would still say, if you're first getting into cosplay, you just have to make sure you have fun with it, just try not to stress yourself out about it. Cosplay whoever you want,
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you're accurate or not. I don't think that's the point.
No. As long as you're having fun. Yeah.
As long as you're having fun and you meet other people as well who are just really into cosplay, I think that's one of the better moments when you can meet other people and make friends and just sort of just come together as a sort of community. I think that's important.
Yeah.
And just have fun with it. Even when you're sort of creating the cosplay itself, have fun with it. Have fun crafting and just being artistic. It's a fun hobby. I'd definitely say that. you know. But yeah, just have fun. Pick a character you like, and yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
You know, YouTube tutorials are really helpful. You know.
I was saying, like, people have said that, saying like, "Oh, we've been still on YouTube tutorials to get everything we need." So there are
definitely, and don't be afraid to ask other people for help as well. Like, don't be afraid to ask other cosplayers, you know, for help. Like, just send them a message. You know, even if they might have like, you know, 30,000 like subscribers or something, you know, like it never hurts to like just try and shoot them a message.
Shoot them a message. You never know what, like with some of the people I've interviewed now, I'm just like, I don't know if they actually reply, and most of them, like some of them do, and it's just like, oh, cool, and then you can just get the ball rolling that way, isn't it? You just got to drop a message and say, would you like to be interviewed, or can you help me with this? I'm having trouble, and 9 times out of 10 they'll be like, yeah, sure, they can help you with this, or
yeah, exactly. Like, one of my friends, Spidey Morpher. I remember when I was first getting into like my Spider-Man cosplay, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna message him. He might not even reply. He has so many like followers, but yeah, he actually replied to me and like gave me some like really helpful advice, and like, you know, we're actually like pretty good mates now, just because like, yeah, we would like sort of bond over cosplay, and now we just like sort of talk about anything. And so yeah, I think just have fun with it. Get to know people, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know, go for it.
Yeah. And last but not least, last question of the whole lot is, where can people find you if they want to follow you?
I guess you can find me on Instagram at Andy Cosplays. So that's Andy ANDYY _cosplays. Yeah.
I think I remember that, you saying like it was Andy and it was like 2 Ys. I had to remember the 2 Ys. I was like, it was 2 Ys. It was like
yeah.
Andy _cosplay. Oh yeah, 2 Ys.
Yeah, because I think like Andy with 1 Y cosplays was taken, so I was like, oh damn it.
I think it is actually. So you're lucky on that one. I think it is.
Yeah, so I was like, oh, I'll have to like spice mine up a bit, you know, be a bit different. Yeah.
Oh, too risky. Well, whiskey. So yeah, you can find him on Instagram, and then So I just want to say thank you very much for taking the time to be interviewed. I know you're probably very busy or just trying to keep ourselves, isolation sort of thing. So thank you very much.
Thank you for just even thinking of me to like interview. I guess I really appreciate it. I was like, it's just like really nice. You know, I think
keeping everyone sane. Really, I think really is these days today.
Yeah, keeping everyone busy. You know, it's it's what we need to do. It's what we need to do.
Be positive. All right. Well, I was going to say thank you very much, and I hope to see you at another convention if it happens this year. Okay, I just want to say thank you very much to Andy Cosplaying for taking the time to be interviewed. Like I said, if you guys want to check his stuff out, links as always are in the description. So yeah, if you guys want to check his stuff out, you can there. We're going to switch over to the news now. It's been a bit of a chilled episode, I think, for this one. So the news won't be that massive. It will all just center on the coronavirus, really. So yeah. So, without further ado, let's get on with the news then, shall we? So, first things on the chopping block is, this is kind of a good thing and it's newsy-based sort of stuff, so I'll let this one pass with movies. Disney have just said that they're actually going to take a budget cut. Well, not budget cut, but a CEO cut, so they can actually fund people who are suffering, or not suffering, but whose life has been made difficult by the coronavirus. So I guess really, that's like a good thing. Disney's just kind of gone, we hear you and we're going to pay you, which with the amount of Disney properties that they own and the money they're making, I think it's a good thing, really. I think most of the top executives are doing that sort of thing, so good for them, really. In terms of actual movie news, there's a lot of things that have been postponed because of the virus, so it's going to make things tricky to report, so that's the best I can come up with. In gaming news, Square have done something pretty cool, which they've actually shipped out a few of the copies of Final Fantasy VII now. Which is kind of awesome to think about, because it's not supposed to come out for a few days, I think, but they've shipped it out now to say, look, we hear you that you won't be able to probably play this, so props to Square. They're actually shipping it off to Europe and Australia now because they're kind of the worst affected. So yeah, props to Square. They're actually like thinking of the fans, which is super cool for me to say that. So like, yeah, that's pretty good. Alright, in anime news, we're going to be talking about Retro Crush. Now, if you've not heard of what it is an anime streaming service. Yay, another one. But this one's different. This actually is streaming old anime. I mean, like 70s, 80s, 90s. So if there's anything you want to watch, like say the original Sailor Moon, or oh god, like the original Cold Case or something, or whatever, this is probably your best chances to watch it. So, or even hell, if you want to go that far back, you can watch the original Pokemon episode. If they have it. But yeah, they haven't announced anything like what's on there, but I'm guessing it's probably going to be a pretty big library, I hope. So yeah, that's an old-fashioned sort of anime streaming service, which I will admit I will have a look at. I will do the 30-day trial thing and have a look, because there are a few anime films and series that I actually want to watch. So, yay! It'd be pretty cool to watch them again. And last but not least is convention news. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, Dale, most of them have been postponed or cancelled, and that is true. But what I want to do now is just take a minute and just say that if they do come back, you know, for heaven forbid, if it's a big anime or if it's a big convention or a small convention, especially the smaller ones, I think more than anything, and they need your support. So if you do see one in your local area, be it a toy fair, be it a comic convention, be it a gaming market, be it a toy market, whatever, support it, go to it, buy tickets for friends, just support your local Comic-Con, because they're gonna need it now, this year more than anything, and next year as well, if they decide to return, because if, like I said, this has probably been the worst year they can, because their summer, which is their primary market, bear in mind, has been gone, because they can't do anything, because we're all in lockdown, obviously. So if you are or thinking of going, oh well, I want to go to this, go to it, because they're going to need you. They're going to need someone who is a bit on the fence about it, because if they don't get it, they're not going to be there next year, and then it's going to be cancelled, and the whole convention scene that we have in the UK, which is massive and huge and plentiful, is just going to shrink down to MCM, which is not good, because competition is always good for keep people on their toes. So yeah, if you do see a smaller convention or one that's not so big and doesn't have the big stars or anything like that, go to it, because it needs your support now more than anything. So yeah, I just want to say that really, because I was going to put it in an article, but I thought if I explain it verbally, it'll be better understanding for it. So yeah, it will just be the case of support your local Comic-Con now more than any time in the last few years, because they're going to need you guys. Even if it is just in a sports hall, it all helps, because they might not be able to make a 2022 or even a 2021 if it's after this lockdown, because people don't want to go out. They'll just want to stay indoors and binge on Netflix, which is not bad, but it's damaging for their business, because they'll look at that and go, well, that was a waste, and then not come back again in 2022 or whatever. So yeah, again, if you see a small local Comic-Con, or even a local shop or a local game developer, or anything that's small, go and support them. Buy a game, buy a magazine, buy a comic book, buy whatever you can from that shop to support them now more than anything, because they're going to need you. And I mean you as in anybody that listens to this. So go to a local cafe, go to a local meeting thing, go to a shop, really. Go to a shop that sells geek stuff, be it comics, games, anime, manga, anything. Just go and support your local stores and events when they do come back. Alright guys, I'm going to end off there, because I know that if I go any further I'll start going into full rant mode, which I don't want to do. Ranting in a good way, bear in mind, but I don't want to do that. So yeah, I will finish off here by saying, if you've gotten to this far of the episode, I just want to say thank you very much. It means a lot. This episode isn't normally our sort of style. I normally be more prepared than this, but I've been trying to balance everything out with recent changes. So yeah, it'll be more full episode next time. With that said, if you do like the sound of this and like the sound of, well, me, and want to support the show, you can. We do have a Ko-fi page where you can just give or share wherever you want. So yeah, every shout out, every pound or something gets a shout out on the show, so that's pretty cool. So yeah, if you guys want to find out more stuff about the stuff we've talked about, links as always are in the description. You can check out the site, Andy's Instagram page, the Badfish merch, the Geek Erie, everything we basically talked about today's episode. So yeah, if you want to guys look that, links are in the description. Hopefully the next episode will be out on the February the 15th. If not, follow the Instagram and the Facebook to keep up to date if anything does change, because things are a bit weird over here. But yeah, I just want to say thank you very much for listening. Hope to see you guys in April the 15th. So, without further ado, I'm being Dale. I'm signing off now.